Wow, I already got likes. This is new. Likes and people watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please make sure you like this on the way in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back in my hotel room. We finally just got back from that rally. It took forever to get out of that parking lot. You know, the thing with these airport hangars is the logistics of getting in and out is just it's kind of a headache because people have to be shuttled in and stuff, and I don't know. It is anyway, I'm happy to be back in the hotel. I'm not going to be live for too long, guys, but I have to I have to I have to get some things out there because I've been thinking about this. I really wanted to. I had a lot of thoughts on my mind when the news broke because that was while Trump was on stage today. What's up, Dina Marie? You guys thought that things were crazy before. All I can say is buckle up because it is about to get 10 times crazier than it is right now. I can just feel it in my bones. I can sense it. This is insane. This is insane. I'm gonna wait for a few more people to get on. I see we got a decent crowd. Please make sure you like this stream. What's up, Joey? Just finished 2 hours with salty cracker. Salt must flow. Things are about to get 10 times crazier, you guys. Like, think about what we've already seen this year. Think about what we've seen since Trump took office, and now look where we are and look where we're headed. Like, the timing of this is just, ugh, that's all I can really say. What's going on, people? I see I got moderators in here. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it. No more stalling. So, let me start by saying, rest in peace to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Y'all know how I roll. I'm just, it's tasteless and classless and hypocritical to try to politicize this. I've seen some disgusting tweets from conservatives, even only a handful of people just saying like good about time. We're not doing that on this channel. It's rest in peace to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. um Personally, I'm looking at it differently than a lot of people. A lot of people have rushed to politicize this, like, oh, Trump gets another SCOTUS pick. We'll get into that. I'll give you my take and tell you what I think about it. But I want to first just talk about her battle with cancer, right? Cancer has taken some important people in my life just this year. So just her fight with cancer, like, I respect that she battled through one of the most virulent diseases, the most virulent disease, in my opinion, that a human can live through. I mean, it's so agonizing. It tears your body up. And for her to be as old as she was and still be battling through it is that's something that's I can respect. I don't know. That's how I'm looking at it. I think that is that deserves respect. Somebody that fought through. I mean, she's obviously had a decorated career. She, regardless of what you think about her politics, like, that's not important anymore. And I just think it's kind of it's it's uh it's lame to try to drag somebody after they die. And I don't care who they are, really. It's just kind of sad. Uh, just because you disagree with them on politics. Now, we already know that if it were Clarence Thomas, they would be saying good riddance. We know how they treated Herman Cain. We know that, but we don't stoop to that level and celebrate someone's death. I just think that that's wrong. So if anybody happens to be celebrating her death, I'm not a fan. So no, I'm not going to celebrate her death. Um, and I haven't really gotten to the point of like, well, who should Trump pick for SCOTUS? Should he pick somebody before the election or not? And I was listening to Tucker just a little bit before I went live. That's kind of what made me decide to, before I listen to everybody else's take, let me just give my thoughts and not repeat what someone else is saying. So what I think as far as the SCOTUS pick, um, obviously it would make sense for him to pick somebody right now. and cram it through the Senate because we have a majority. And we have to think about the long term, like the future of this country. We have to plan for the fact that this election, we know President Trump will win by a landslide, but it's not going to happen. They're not going to let him win by a landslide. They're going to contest it. They're going to make the results look very complicated. They're going to jam things up and slow it down and be like, oh no, we need to recount this random county in Pennsylvania that could change the whole scope of the election. We need to recount in Michigan. That's going to happen. You guys just need to plan for it. Things are going to get weird. It's going to get awkward. With everything else we've already dealt with this year, we just need to just stay vigilant, just stay prayed up, and don't panic because God wins. But we're entering a very dark time in our country, a darker time. If you think that they were crazy before when the George Floyd protest kicked off the civil unrest, wait until you see what happens now. Just wait. It's only going to get worse from here. It is. And the best thing we can do is just prepare for it. They're going to get completely unhinged. I'm seeing videos already. There's a bunch of people outside of the Supreme Court in Washington D.C. and it's how late is it here on the East Coast? Well, I'm in the Midwest right now. It's approaching midnight on the East Coast, and I mean that's not really crazy, but this is just night one. This is just people just taking it all in. But what's gonna happen when they wake up tomorrow and they're like, oh snap, now Cheeto Hitler has another pick for the SCOTUS. They're gonna take away, like, you guys all remember what happened with Brett Kavanaugh. Do you remember how evil that was? When there were like people clawing at the doors of the Supreme Court and sending death threats to him and his wife, and the man broke down and cried as they tried to destroy his life. These demons are real. This stuff is real, you guys. Spiritual warfare, this is real. And if you think about the spiritual aspects of the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, what does that mean for the future of our country? What does that mean for the Supreme Court and how President Trump has an opportunity to reshape the Supreme Court, remake it? We already have a conservative majority, but he can solidify it for generations to come, because if he's reelected, he will be reelected. He's going to have what he thinks, at least he said that he thinks he's going to have maybe 3 more picks or something. He's already appointed so many judges. I just think of like the spiritual aspect, appointing conservative, pro-God, pro-life, pro-constitution judges as opposed to what Joe Biden would do, right? The 16-year plan to destroy America. People thought that was a conspiracy theory. Oh, Alex Jones in his tinfoil hat talking about this, and all David Icke, all these people talking about this stuff. Now you're seeing it's coming to pass. You're seeing what would have happened had Hillary Clinton been elected, and the kind of judges she would have appointed, activist judges that probably would have, let pedophiles off the hook and made things, more friendly for people who do some of the most satanic, evil stuff in the world, right? Those people would have allies in the justice system, which they don't need, right? So President Trump has an opportunity now to solidify that. And because of that, because that's a spiritual thing, right? Because what does Satan want to do? Steal, kill, and destroy, including killing the unborn, right? That's a huge thing. That's why they were after Kavanaugh, because they thought that Kavanaugh was going to overturn Roe v. Wade. We were all thinking that, right? So we're going to see what happens from here. We're going to see what happens from here, because they are going to do absolutely, positively everything in their power to prevent this from happening, to hold this up like there's no way that he can appoint someone and confirm them, have them confirmed before the election. They're going to contest this, knowing damn well if it was the other way around and you had a Democrat in the White House and a Democrat Senate, they would push this through. They would cram it through before an election. Everybody knows it. But because it's Republicans, because it's Trump, they're going to contest this. So I don't know what it's going to look like, how it's going to play out. I see that they're already starting to pressure some of the more vulnerable, I guess you could say, neoconservatives like Susan Collins in Maine, Lisa Murkowski, people that were on the fence about Kavanaugh. Susan Collins is the main one. And she seems like such a, I don't know how to really describe it, like a frail, like really just timid woman. What kind of death threats is she going to get? Are they going to have leftist mobs outside of her house? Like, think about how crazy they've gotten. Think about some of the evil stuff that they've done. Why would they stop here? They're going to start, I'm telling you, they're going to start threatening people more so than they were before. Look how they treated Rand Paul leaving the RNC. They're going to start threatening people's lives. They're going to do whatever they can to pressure Susan Collins. I don't think just pressuring her with voting her out in Maine is going to be enough. She's in a tightly contested race for her Senate seat, I guess. I don't know. I don't really follow Maine politics. But that's what Tucker said, and that's what I believe to be true from just what I've seen on Twitter. So they're going to pressure Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski and Mitt Romney and other people who are not necessarily pro-Trump to say, hold on, you guys need to wait. If Trump wants to pick another SCOTUS, you guys need to wait. Mitch McConnell, you guys need to wait until after the election, which we know why. We know why. They want to hold up everything. They want to jam everything up. And we actually need a conservative majority on the Supreme Court. We need a confirmed justice. The other thing to think about is, does Trump, and you guys chime in, I don't know if this is true or not. I really don't know. Does this hurt Trump if Trump decides to appoint a new justice before November 3rd? Because here's the thing, he can appoint a new justice before November 3rd. And let's say worst case scenario, knock on wood, it's not going to happen. Even if he lost, if he appointed someone right now, he wouldn't leave office until what, January 20th? So that's more than enough time for him to appoint, and for a Senate, even if we lose the majority in the Senate, that's more than enough time for them to still get this done even after the election. Does that hurt him now, or does that help him? Because there's people that might say, well, he's trying to do this now because he thinks he's going to lose, and he's rushing things. That could sway people to vote for Biden. Granted, Biden hasn't said who he would appoint. He refused to say who he'd appoint. At least Trump has been transparent with his list. He talked about Ted Cruz. He talked about the other lady. It slips my mind right now, her name. But the thing is, Trump has been transparent about who he would put on the Supreme Court. So at least they would know, they've already known who he would pick. It's just the timing of all this is really crazy. It's really crazy that she just passed away today. And even now, even though I said I wasn't going to politicize, I'm not necessarily politicizing it. I'm just thinking, like, how is this going to work out? How does this shape the election? Does he wait until after re-election to do it? Does he wait until even after, like, whether he wins or loses, should he wait until after November 3rd? Because waiting, I don't think waiting helps. I don't think it hurts him to wait, but I don't think it helps him to not wait, if that makes sense. Like, if he picks somebody now, that could potentially shake things up with him. And even though he has all the support, it looks like he's going to win all these states. He's going to win Pennsylvania and Michigan. But should we leave anything to chance? Someone asked if I'll be in Castleberry Tuesday. I will not. I will be at a rally in Pennsylvania. If you ask me personally, I think he should not wait. I think he should not wait, because whether or not he wins, we need a new conservative majority SCOTUS. We need as many conservative judges as we can possibly get to protect the unborn, to protect kids, to protect the Constitution, all of our freedoms, rights, liberties, everything. That Constitution that's the Bible for the United States of America, alongside the Bible itself. That document right there must be defended at all costs. Because if Joe Biden gets in there, because we know that he is just a vessel, he is an empty vessel for radicalism, they're going to say, put this crazy purple-haired judge on the Supreme Court that wants to do this, that, and the third. No, we cannot have it. So I think personally, he should pick somebody right now and get it through the Supreme Court or get it through the Senate, get it voted, Susan Collins is going to have a decision to make. Does she care more about her reelection, or does she care about the future of the country? Because they're already pressuring her in Maine. They've been at her throat ever since she voted to confirm Kavanaugh. So, I mean, I guess you could say her fate was sealed a long time ago. Whether that is in her favor or not is yet to be seen. And quite frankly, it really doesn't matter. The Supreme Court matters a lot more than her reelection. So what will Susan Collins do? What will Lisa Murkowski do? What will Mitt Romney do? Because these people are not pro-Trump. I can see Mitt Romney. I could see the grandstanding. I could see it happening right now. I could already see Mitt Romney releasing a statement. I mean, Mitt Romney is the definition of rhino. That dude might as well switch parties. I don't know how Utah is even going to reelect that guy when he's up for reelection. I don't even know if he's up for reelection. But I could see him saying, nope, we're going to wait because he sides with the left. I'm sure he's endorsed Joe Biden. I don't even know. But Mitt Romney, who else? I can see them trying to pressure Rand Paul. I can see a bunch of people who just aren't strong. Like Trump is strong. A lot of these people are weak, and they will cave to the mob. They will cave to pressure. They will cave to their constituents. They will try to reach across the aisle, extend the olive branch, try to do that. That hasn't worked for Republicans in the past. That's why we got Trump, because they were too soft. They capitulated way too much, and it came back to bite them. But I think it's time for people to wake up and see what's really happening, because this is a huge implication right here. It's huge. And that's pretty much my spiel. I don't want to continue just saying the whole thing, but it just I just feel the heaviness of this and how people are going to get wild. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get uncomfortable. It's going to get awkward. Thank you, Joey, for the super chat. It's going to get weird. It's going to get weird on top of the fact that it's already weird, and we were planning for it to get weird just with the election. Now you throw this on there, and that's like dumping gasoline on the fire, and it was already a raging inferno. Like, I just don't even know. And I think strategically, I don't know anything about the potential picks. Honestly, I don't. That's not my wheelhouse. I don't really study that stuff. I do know that, and this could have just been a rumor, that Ted Cruz was one of the potential picks. I think that's I don't think that will work. I think they'll contest that. I think sex assault allegations will come out of the woodworks. Suddenly Ted Cruz will be a racist and all this stuff. They'll find something. But if he picks a woman, and I forget her name, somebody put it in the chat. Give me the woman's name that they think will be good. If he picks her, then what do they throw at her? You can't throw sex assault allegations at her. It's not going to hold up. If he picks a guy, no matter who the guy is, he will be an instant rapist to the left. That's just the way it works. He will be an instant rapist. Oh, that will hold things up. Oh, we got these sex assault allegations. Blah. That's what's going to happen. But if it's a woman, what do they throw at her? Did anyone put it in the chat? Amy Barrett. Or is it Barrett? Someone said Judge Janine. Yeah, right. That would be, I don't know much about Judge Janine. I just know her from Fox News. And she's kind of a firebrand. Somebody said Candace Owens. Come on. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who he's going to pick. I don't know if he's going to pick. But I think if I were him, I would pick somebody soon, and I would get it done now. Even if it doesn't happen before the election, you still have a majority on the Senate the day after the election. You still, like, they don't, if we lose the majority in the Senate, they're still in office. They still have the power. They're still well within their constitutional rights to appoint a federal judge. They can do it. Supreme Court judge, they can do it right in the middle of November. It doesn't matter. They can do it in December. But we cannot get to January and we don't know who the president is, because that's what's going to happen. It's going to be Trump, but they're going to make it seem like it's Biden, and we have to count all these mail-in ballots, which coincidentally, all these mail-in ballots are for Biden, and now he's up exactly one vote over Trump in all the swing states. It looked like Trump was up by 44,000 votes. And now Biden has 45,000 votes. He's up by more. That's what's going to happen. Let's just call it right now. So do we really want that on top of now we don't know who's going to replace RBG on top of that? I'd rather have that door slammed shut already. Like we've already got somebody in there. But it's going to get weird. It's going to get weird. There's going to be protests. There's going to be all this. You notice how there's already people gathering up outside of the Supreme Court to pay their respects to RBG. I'm like, are these the same people that don't want to vote in person? Because last time I checked, they said that that was super duper dangerous, even though voting booths you're already socially distanced, right? That was already built in. We've been socially distancing for a long time as it relates to voting. But these same people who are afraid to vote in person can gather up and protest and burn things down. That's what we just got to continue calling out. Come on, Judge Judy. No, no, Judge Judy. No, I mean like serious people we have. Who can we have? Amy Barrett is what I've seen you guys say so far. But man, just you think about the spiritual aspect of this. Like I will never get the images out of my head of those demonic, like mindless minions just clawing at the door of the Supreme Court during the Kavanaugh hearings. That was insane. I've never seen anything like that. The protests, the demonstrations, the just oh. I think we're going there. I think that's gonna happen. I think we're gonna see we'll just see how the Democrats respond, how they respond to this. Someone said Gowdy is a rhino. There's probably so many rhinos I can't name them all. I just know the big name ones like Mitt Romney, Lindsey Graham's, more like the neoconservative people, and then just the soft, weak Republicans that are afraid to stand up to Democrats. Susan Collins makes me very nervous. How many were these? That's the other thing too. If Trump picks somebody, will the Republicans actually back him? Does he actually have enough support to get a SCOTUS pick pushed through the Senate and confirmed? Does he actually have that support? Because with the Kavanaugh hearing, it was shaky. It was really shaky to where Susan Collins was on the fence and some of these other neocons, they were very like just weird about it. RBG doesn't get a vote in her replacement. No, she doesn't. But just come on, man. Like the people that have been politicizing this, it's just kind of it's disgusting. And there's no point like being hypocritical. We talked about how they celebrated Herman Cain's death. They still celebrate Herman Cain's death. They used John Lewis's death and was Elijah Cummings and who else died? Was it Aretha Franklin? Not Aretha Franklin. I forget who it was. Gladys Knight. They used her death to as a political rally, pretty much to bash the president. They do that, but I don't think I don't know. I'm just not a fan of politicizing RBG's death, celebrating it just because Trump will get another SCOTUS pick. Because, like I said from the beginning, we don't know if he will actually pick someone before the election. That's number one. Number two, we don't know if Republicans are going to confirm somebody before the election because they're so concerned about capitulating. Oh, we want to look like we're moral and all this stuff. They want a grandstand. So we don't know that. And we don't know what the left is planning to do as far as holding it up. So there's a lot of unknowns. But just, I don't know. Celebrating somebody's death is just bad. I just think people should maybe not do that. Somebody else sent a super chat. Ellis G, thank you so much. You always support. God bless you. God bless everybody watching. God bless everybody that supported me tonight on RSBN. For some reason, I'm my own worst enemy, my biggest critic. I personally think I was a little bit off my game tonight. I just felt a little bit distracted. Or maybe I just put too much pressure on myself because I wanted to like perform at the highest levels. I'm sure most people said, Mike, you did a great job. You're so amazing. I'm sure when I go back and look at the tape, I'll be like, I wasn't that bad. But there were certain things that I had planned and prepared for to say, and I either forgot or left out details or just didn't seem as confident on camera because I put a lot of pressure on myself. Like, all right, this is Minnesota. This is the state I used to live in. I want to get this right. I want this to be solid. And I think I did good, but I would say of all the rallies I did so far, I would say Michigan was probably my best one. Michigan was that was my favorite one. The crowd, the energy tonight was good, but it wasn't the best. I would say of all the ones that I've been to so far, North Carolina by far had the most energy. That was the most fired up crowd, start to finish. They were just excited. They were pumped up. They just kept the energy going. It was a great it was fun. North Carolina was fun. Pennsylvania was fun. I'm excited to see what the energy's like in Ohio. I love traveling. I love the Midwest. The Midwest. There's something about the Midwest. It's good. It's got good energy. Lots of good people. Lots of nice, friendly people. And way up here in Minnesota, man, these accents are crazy funny. Hold on. Family Law said, Mike, you're doing a great job. Just stay safe and keep your head on a swivel. So glad you came to NC, my home state. Let me tell you something. I have never felt more safe, probably in my entire life, than I am at a Trump rally because Secret Service is crawling all over these events. They're an airport hangar. So the parameters of this are secured. Nobody's just driving in. It's not like some arena with busy traffic and stuff, on the outside of it. It's like you got to get into an airport and then find the hangar, and then you're not getting by Secret Service. That's the safest thing. I basically have Secret Service protection at these events, so protesters aren't getting anywhere near us. As far as travel, I mean, I'm in an airport. That's another place that tends to be pretty safe. And other than that, I just keep a low profile. I wear a hat when I'm not on air. One thing I actually do want to do though is stop wearing my my suit, the stuff that I wear when I'm on air. I need to stop wearing that afterwards because oftentimes what we do, we go straight to the restaurant. We go straight to get food. And when you go into these places, it's people have just left the rally. And so they're not on the grounds with Secret Service. And these are Trump supporters. They're sitting there with their MAGA hats on in their restaurants. And most part, people don't say anything, but they still give us looks because we're the press. So they look at us like, are you liberal media? Like, Pennsylvania was intense. This one couple wouldn't let us get over unless we told them that we were conservative media. Like, I'm not kidding. We were late to get in. There was a long line of traffic, so we were flashing our badges, our name tags, and like, hey, we're part of the press. Can we cut in front of you, please? We're running late. We need to get in with the media before they close that area off. And the lady was like, which media are you in? Are you liberal media? I was like, damn, really? If I had said I was liberal media, they wouldn't let us in. So that's the only time where I wouldn't say that I feel unsafe, but it's just like people tend to be a little bit more hostile, and it's just subtle. It's not like they're in your face ready to fight, but they're looking at you like you're a member of the press. And that's why I was inspired to put on the MAGA hat for the Michigan rally, because that morning when we got there, we were walking in with our camera equipment, and this dude's like, you guys better talk about our president fairly. You better cover him fairly. And I understand the frustration about Trump support, people who've been with President Trump from the beginning, from 2015. They were called dregs of society, deplorables, racists, Nazis, all these names by the media. And so they probably look at all media as the same, like you're just here to lie about us and say this, that, and the third. So I wanted to differentiate ourselves. I wanted to separate myself from liars. I don't want to be associated with liars. I don't want to be confused with liars. So I was like, I'm going to put this hat on, because now what are you going to say when you see me up there with a microphone talking about this rally? Are you going to call me fake news then? Now you can see what Right Side Broadcasting, we're up here supporting the president. So I say all that to say, like, maybe when I'm off air, I'll fit in a little bit more and not, I want to mingle with the crowd. I don't want to stand out in any way, shape, or form. But I don't think Trump supporters are going to go off and attack me because I'm the press. But I also see from the perspective of the press how intense it is. Now they've earned this the stench of this bad reputation that they have. However, not everybody who works in the press hates the president. Not everybody in there even cares about politics. Take, for example, my cameraman. My cameraman does sporting events. His primary job is to cover like ESPN events, college football events. So he doesn't care so much about politics. So for them to like flip him off and ask him questions, it's like he's here to record footage. Not everybody up here is even political. Not everybody up here cares about what's going on in politics. So I see a little bit from the perspective of media how hostile people can be, but I also understand why people are angry at the media. I just think that's where that's any if I ever did feel unsafe at one of these things, it'd be because people think that I'm fake news. And I don't know how to prove to them otherwise. But maybe now they'll start to recognize my face and see me. I noticed that today a lot more people were waving. A lot of people know me by name. A lot of people want to take pictures with me now. They recognize us, Right Side Broadcasting. I think we need to get more we need to get some brand. Maybe we should get some face masks that say RSBN. Because I mean, we do have to wear them at the airport. So might as well, if you're going to wear it, you might as well have the brand, the logo. Always be branding. Somebody, hold on. Let me get, I don't want to miss these super chats. Joe said he's extremely proud of me. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. You know, I would not have been discovered if not for having such a big audience already on YouTube. And I know I have a lot of new subscribers from a lot of different platforms. A lot of different people start following me now, and I'm grateful for it. Oh, hold on. JBS H-Town said, perfection is in the eye of the beholder. Don't be too tough on yourself. You've got so much going for you, and you definitely beat out MSM. You're doing great. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the uplifting words. It's not like it's not like I don't have confidence or anything. I just think I'm always pushing myself to be better when in reality I should pat myself on the back every now and then, be like, hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I just, I'm always looking to improve. I just want to be better than each day. I just try to be a better person than I was the day before. And I try to improve on my craft. I mean, what I'm doing right now it's been like a blur. It just came out of nowhere. Now all of a sudden I'm working for Right Side Broadcasting, covering the greatest president, arguably in the history of our country. I'm covering his rallies in the most important election any of us are ever going to vote in our lifetime, and I'm a part of that. And so I want to make sure I bring my A game every single time. And who knows where this could lead me to? Who knows? Like 15 minutes ago, I was sitting in a freaking Amazon truck just delivering packages, and now I'm on the road going to these events and stuff, and who knows where I go from here. God is navigating the ship. Shirt Boss said, paying you back. Thanks for everything you're doing, Mike. Shirt Boss. Oh, guys. Okay, so I got to tell you about that shirt that I got, right? That Black Lives MAGA shirt. So Shirt Boss, this guy that just gave me the super chat. So he found my channel because he was watching. First of all, I bought the shirt from him on eBay, and he's going to give me a link. So I'll promote that shirt, because some of you asked, where can I get that shirt? So he's providing a link and all that stuff for me. But anyway, I bought that shirt from eBay, and I wore it to that flag wave, and he happened to be on YouTube, and my video, which is a shocker to me, was recommended to him, because my videos never get recommended to people who aren't subscribed. And he clicked on the video because he thought he recognized the shirt. And then lo and behold, he looked and he saw, Mike, I think I just sold a shirt to somebody named Mike. So he reached out to me on eBay and said, oh, I love your content. You just gained a new fan. I'm going to set up a link for your channel so you can promote it. And he's going to get some more stuff. So anytime I can help out a small business, that's what I'm going to do. So once he sends me that link, I will be promoting that. I will tell you guys about it, because a lot of you asked, where can you get the Black Lives MAGA shirt? That shirt is a hit. People love that shirt. So many people have reached out about that shirt. Matter of fact, when I first said I want to get a Black Lives MAGA shirt, I said that at I think that was actually that was either the Michigan or the North Carolina rally. And I got like 15 DMs right away during the live stream that were like, here's where you can get it. Check out here, check here, check here. I finally sifted through it and I picked his. See, God doesn't make mistakes. Everything just kind of lines up and works out exactly the way it's supposed to. So somebody said, so that's who you are. I know you from that guy, Triggered Paint the Trump. Yes, Paint the Trump, myself and Paint the Trump, we're kind of tag teaming this whole I-4 corridor thing. We're doing our part. So when I'm not at President Trump rallies, I'm going to flag waves in Florida because Florida is up for grabs too. We cannot leave anything to chance. Even though it looks like he should win Florida in a landslide, we cannot count on that. We can't count on the optics. So Paint the Trump is going all over Central Florida, holding these flag waves, and it's making a difference. It is really, first of all, it's drowning Black Lives Matter out. They thought that they had they thought there was a force to be reckoned with. Not in Florida. Nope. They're going to be drowned out. For every Black Lives Matter protester, there's at least 50 Trump supporters, patriots, people who don't support their message. And you're starting to see more Black people show up at these things too. So they really like just the optics of it. Could you imagine being a self-hating white liberal leftist, whatever you want to call them, Marxist? That's really what it is, Marxist. You're standing on the side holding up a Black Lives Matter sign, and across the street from you are a bunch of Black people who are like, that organization is trash. I don't know. I would feel extremely awkward if I were out there virtue signaling and I held up white lives matter. If I held up a white lives matter sign and then there was a bunch of white people across the street, like, we don't agree with that movement. That movement sucks. I would feel like, oh, well, what am I doing this for? I don't know. It's just weird. But that's what they're doing. And we're making a huge difference in Florida because more and more people are showing up every single week. And we just want, the goal is to basically flood the street with Trump supporters. The more Trump supporters we can get optics on, the more Trump supporters we can get in one place to show how big and massive his following is, especially in swing states, the more evidence we have of corruption when they ultimately try to rig it and say, Trump actually lost by a landslide in Florida. Oh, really? Then how do you explain all of these people who are out here with Trump signs, with Trump flags, with bumper stickers, with hats, flags, big signs on the side of the highway, semi trucks? How do you explain all of these people supposedly voting for Joe Biden, but they're out here supporting Trump? Where are Biden's voters? We have to be able to contest this. We have to be able to contest this when they ultimately contest the election. We need to counter that. RSB and moderators watching me said, Mike, I've been watching you for a long time, and I'm so happy to have you on our team now. You are doing a great job, just like I knew you would. God bless and safe travels. Mod Mom. Thanks, Mod Mom. So Mod Mom is the mother of the CEO, Joe Seals. She's the moderator. I should make you a moderator on this channel since you watch me so much. Let me do that. Just cuz. Okay, you're a moderator on this channel now. So Mod Mom actually discovered me and brought me to Right Side Broadcasting. So give her a shout, guys. Mod Mom. She's a moderator now. Dina Marie will make her feel more welcome. But no, she's the one who found me and sent my information to Joe. And it's just been a blessing. It is such a blessing. God has really looked out for me, finding me this job. And with any luck, this will be my permanent source of income. You know, I don't like working like 9 to 5 jobs. I'll do it. I'm a hard worker. I like to do whatever as long as I can earn some money. But if I can continue to do this, this would be ideal, which is all more reason we got to get Trump reelected. You just added to the laundry list of reasons why I was going to vote for Trump anyway. Now it's like my actual source of income depends on his reelection. And that's what I'm going to use to guilt my family into voting for Trump. Hopefully, they'll just vote for him, not with me having to guilt them. But it's like, are you really going to vote against the interest of your son, mom? Come on. Come on. You got to vote for Trump, mom. That's where my money comes from. Like, quite literally. I think I can probably get some people to vote for him just off of that alone. Dula says, how can I get the Black Lives Matter shirt? Well, I just addressed it a few minutes ago. So the guy who sold it to me, he reached out to me, and he's a fan. He watches my channel now. He's in the process of getting some like custom link, and there's probably going to be a promo. So like I'll get credit for it, and you guys will probably get a discount if you want to buy it. But I highly recommend everybody should get that shirt. Everybody, we got to do everything to drown out this Marxist garbage, evil message from Black Lives Matter. These people are liars. They're hypocrites. They blame, lie, and manipulate. That's the BLM. Blame, lie, manipulate. So we can drown them out simply by Black Lives MAGA shirts. Just, show up and drown out their message. Do it peacefully, though. See, that's what we do. We peacefully protest. You notice how when Joe Biden has his rallies and he's greeted by Trump supporters, those people are holding up pro-Trump signs. They're not anti-Biden. They're pro-Trump. We're not anti-Biden. I'm not anti-Biden. Are you? We're pro-Trump. We're peaceful protesters. Nobody's throwing eggs at his car. Nobody's threatening Joe Biden's life. You notice how no Trump supporters threaten Joe Biden's life? Not that I know of. I'm sure there's some lunatic fringe people that do that, but that's not the majority, right? But now try to be a Trump supporter going through a bunch of leftist mobs. If they even let your car through, they'll probably jump on the hood, beat the windshield in, and try to take your life. That's the reality. That's the truth. But I love how Trump supporters have kept it classy after being called all these disgusting names and dragged by the media, by Hillary Clinton, by Joe Biden when he called us dregs of society, by Joy Behar and all these people on CNN, all these liberal elites, these smug, snobby liberal elites that talk down to Americans. That's what the Trump supporter is, an American. Like, I used to think Trump supporter was like a pejorative term, like, oh, that's a Trump supporter. It's like, no, these are just American people that love the country. Trump is the representation for us. He's standing up for the average everyday citizen. He has the average everyday citizen at the White House, whereas Obama would have rich people. John Legend and his wife go to the White House, right? President Trump will invite Joe Schmo from the plumbing shop or whatever. He just invites regular people there. Anyway, these people have spent so much time dragging and trashing and just raking Trump supporters over the coals. Now you see Trump supporters responding like, we're going to show just how nice and kind and compassionate we are. We're going to protest Joe Biden with smiles. We're going to have, of course, we're going to have fun and troll and have the old Sleepy Joe. But for the most part, if you go see somebody protesting Joe Biden, which is rare, they're just standing on the side of the road with their Trump flags, with their American flags. See what I mean? That's the difference between being pro-Trump versus anti-Biden. His supporters are not pro-Biden. They're anti-Trump. There's a big, big, big difference in the energy, in the mindset, in the actions that they take. If you're anti-something, you're more likely to be more angry. You're more likely to be more hostile because you're focusing on what you don't want, what you don't like. When you focus on things that you don't want, you don't like, it gives you a lower energy, gives you a lower negative vibration of being versus focusing on what you do like. That uplifts you. It makes you happy, right? When you think about things that you like, doesn't it make you feel good? So why wouldn't you continue to focus on what makes you feel good? It manifests a different reality. That's why I say a lot of what we're dealing with right now is spiritual. Because when you are focused on what you don't like and you have those darker, lower vibrational energies, you open up portals for demons to possess you and make you do crazy stuff like try to run Trump supporters off the road. That kind of thing happens, and it's happening more. And that's why it's getting scarier by the day as we get closer to this election. People with low vibration, low energy, negative, toxic vibes, bad people possessed by demons and doing crazy, wicked stuff like trying to mass murder police officers by locking them into buildings with quick drying cement and then torching the building. Demonic stuff. Who does that? Who do you know that does that? Evil, wicked stuff. We have to call it out, and they need to cast it out. They need to find Jesus. We're going to talk about this stuff. This is things I would, if I could talk about this on air all day, I would do that. I don't know if I have to talk about some other stuff too, because it's sometimes a little bit too heavy for people, but I don't know how else you make sense of what we're seeing from the left. If this is not the Democrat Party anymore, it's not even, it's turning into something so dark and sinister. Think about these people, man. And this is why I post stuff on Instagram, because I have a lot of friends and family that just sit around and just, they twiddle their thumbs. They will not address it, even though I'm putting it right in their face. Like, look, you cannot deny what's happening. Look at these violent mobs attacking people, beating them, kicking them in the face, robbing them. And then look at the people you're supporting for office. Look at Joe Biden. It's like, huh? I don't see Antifa. There's no Antifa. Jerry Nadler. Antifa is a myth. It's a right-wing conspiracy. They're saying this stuff on CNN. Don Lemon. It says it in the name. Anti-fascist. I have friends that think Antifa are solid. They're really good people. They're just fighting the fascists, Mike. What's wrong? I have people saying, this stuff isn't being politicized. Or they'll say, it's happening on both sides, Mike. Why are you pretending like it's not a right-wingers aren't doing it too? Well, that's because people like the Proud Boys aren't making it easy when they just go into Portland like, we're going to go back and retaliate. Okay, that's really dumb, because now you're just giving them cannon fodder against Trump. Now it's like, oh, look at rioters attack peaceful protester because they get the one Proud Boy that punches somebody and attacks them. That's dumb. You have to be more strategic when you're fighting against these demons. You have to outsmart them. That's all I'm saying. I put this stuff in people's face so they can see what's happening. What's happening in this country is so evil. We're going through a really dark time. We need to put on the whole armor of God. And I don't even care if you believe in God the way I do. I don't care. It doesn't matter. You still recognize good and evil. You still see what I see. It's happening. Nobody can deny it. People still try. People try to bury their heads in the sand. I'm just saying. Someone said, you're right, Mike. We need to be smart. Antifa is burning down our forest now. That's huge. Yes, they're burning down Mother Nature. They're burning down. Look at fire. Look at the fire. They're bringing, it's inferno. They love fire. They celebrate it. They're ritualistic. I don't know if you're subscribed to Justin Wilson, our new guy, who I just brought on with RSBN. He did an amazing job, didn't he? He fit right in. Seamless fit for him to join RSBN. And he's a dual threat. He can do the camera stuff. Anyway, he gets into this stuff a lot better than I do. He's much better at articulating, I think, this spiritual warfare stuff. He showed a video of the founders of BLM dressing in like occult garb. And they talk about when they say, you know how the BLM, they're like, say their names, Breonna Taylor, say their names, George Floyd. When they say their names, they're actually trying to summon the energy of that person who died. They want to summon the spirit. Now, you tell me if that sounds like some dark stuff or not. They want to summon this dark energy. That's why I said, I'll call BLM what it is. It's a satanic, dark, evil movement. You think about the people they've killed and everything else. They celebrate stuff. It's weird stuff. They're doing this. They're summoning this dark energy stuff. That's why they focus on people who have died. They don't care about black people that are still alive. I'm surprised they even care about Jacob Blake. He's still alive. They care about George Floyd. Say their names. Say their names. This stuff is actually happening. Another YouTube channel you want to check out to hear more about this stuff. Marcus Rogers. Marcus Rogers is a Christian. He's a black dude. He's a rapper. He's super talented. I've been listening to his stuff for like a year. He's one of my top channels. He is on it. You got to check this guy out. He understands the spiritual aspect of what's happening right now. If you can understand the spiritual aspect, you'll be better equipped to deal with it and understand what's going on and what's going to happen next. The spiritual activity has increased. You notice the hottest months of the year were the craziest for us, and now they're setting fires. They're burning stuff because they like fire. They like to destroy. They celebrate death and destruction. That's who these people are. So to bring it on home, because I should probably wrap up and go to bed. We would drive to Minneapolis tomorrow. With this Ruth Bader Ginsburg thing, this is just another thing that this is just more gasoline thrown onto the fire. Joey is really just, you're feeling the salty cracker thing. You're high off the salty cracker. Who's reeing? Do we have anybody reeing in here? Justin Wilson. So you have to type in Adventist. I can't, it's Adventist. Justin Adventist. Type that in and that should pop up. If not, I can link it later. But find his channel, find Marcus Rogers, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Yes. You know what? I would love to collaborate with the salty cracker. He follows me on Twitter. I've talked to him before. His channel is dope, and he's hilarious. He is hilarious. But guys, this RBG thing, I think, is going to just make things more intense. More intense. As more and more things keep coming out, as more darkness keeps coming to the light, as more of these human traffickers are getting brought in. You're seeing that dude from some show, some black dude, just got busted with kiddie porn. They're starting to bust these people, these wicked people that have been doing all this stuff in the shadows for God knows how long. That stuff is starting to come out right now. I'm hearing people talk about October surprise. I have no idea what that means, but I don't like it. I never liked surprises to begin with. Now I really don't like something called the October surprise, especially in the year 2020. Other years, I might be like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe, I don't know. Now, October surprise, that sounds horrible. October surprise, I don't know what that means, but it sounds like something that's probably going to be crazy. Joe said, if I remember correctly, haven't you been on my boss's panel, Will Johnson? My boss's panel, Will Johnson. I've been on I haven't been on a panel with Will Johnson. I've been a guest on his channel. I was a guest on InfoWars when Will Johnson was there. Thank you, Mod Mom. Just put Justin's channel in the chat. So if you want to find whoever is asking for Justin's channel, there it is. We don't need more crap this year. No, we don't. We don't. We deserve a break. I tell you what, 2021 better be full of sunshine and rainbows. I want a utopian year. I want a just give me all the things. All the things. That's what we need. 2021. Although, unfortunately, I don't think it works that way. I don't think the devil takes a break with trying to destroy God's creations. I don't think he looks at the calendar like, oh, it's December 31st. This is my last night of destruction. And then it's a whole new year. And then God might have the upper hand. God always has the upper hand. But the devil's always trying to destroy God's creations. That's why they want to play God. That's why you can tell who is part of God's army and who's marching in the army of darkness, because the people who want to play God and undermine God and see God as the bourgeoisie, Justin talked about it on his last video. I'm telling you, check out his most recent video about this. But the devil wants to play God and undermine God, which is why they want to play God. What is Bill Gates trying to do? Change the world with a vaccine. What else is Bill Gates doing? Releasing genetically modified mosquitoes in Florida. That sounds like somebody who's trying to play God to me. With climate change. Oh, if we just tax you, take all your money, and tell you how to live your life, we can change the climate. We can change the temperature of the earth by 0.0172 degrees over the next 50 years. And everything's going to be green, and everyone's going to have jobs, government jobs. Communism doesn't have, Green New Deal is going to be amazing. Right? People who want to play God. People who think that the world is overpopulated are saying God made a mistake. People who want to change their gender are trying to play God. They're mocking God, saying, God, you messed up when you created me, so I'm going to change my gender. That's what these people are doing. Whether they know it or not, that is undermining God. And I'm not a fan of that. So I'm going to call it out. I'm going to expose it. I don't care if it's politically correct. I don't care who gets offended. I'm just going to tell the truth. That's what's happening on the left. That's why it's so easy to know who to vote for and what side to be on. Yes, it's deeper than politics. We are so beyond politics now. You're not voting Democrat or Republican. What does that even mean anymore? And I just think that God has his hands on this president. God is taking care of Trump. He's not perfect. God can use anybody. God can use anybody. People think Trump is not godly or whatever because he tweets stuff and because he uses a little bit of profanity. He sounds like me. I've always had a friend like Trump, so I feel like that's somebody that I can relate to, even though he's a billionaire. It sounds crazy, but hey, think about everything they've tried to do to destroy this man, and none of it has worked. None of it has worked. He keeps on winning, and oh, by the way, there's great things happening in his presidency. The human traffickers are being arrested. Where was this under Obama's administration? Where was this under Bill Clinton and George Bush? No, it was actually quite pervasive in those presidencies, in those administrations. Human trafficking, all that stuff just happening. That stuff is starting to come to light now. What's up, DM? No perfect person in the Bible except Jesus Christ. Exactly. It's so funny. People who they don't. I'm not like some hardcore Bible thumper. I have not read it cover to cover. That's my confession. But at least I know that in the Bible, the Antichrist is seen as an angel of light, somebody that everybody likes. People hate this president, so he could not be the Antichrist just by the definition of that. But there are people who are Luciferians that act like angels of light. They seem like they're good people and well-intentioned, like George Soros, maybe Bill Gates. Oh, Bill Gates just cares about the population. He wants to genetically modify mosquitoes, and hopefully when they mate with the native mosquitoes in Florida, their population will die off. So if he can do that with mosquitoes, and he also said the world is overpopulated, I wonder if he could do that with... No, he would never do that with humans. No, even though he said the population is too much for his liking, so he feels he's going to take it upon himself to reduce the population of the world because he can do it, because he's got all this money, right? Trying to play God. Luciferian. Vote in person, Dina said. You better vote in person, except for the fact that if you live in a Democratic governed state, not only are they encouraging voter mail-in ballots, they are really trying to make it almost impossible for people to go to the polls. They're basically, in some states, and I have to research this a little bit more, they're trying to, and I think this is true in North Carolina, mail every single person an absentee ballot, because then it makes it easier for them to just write it in and mail it versus actually take time off work, plan to go vote in person. They want to make it as convenient as possible for people to just vote by mail. So in a way, it's almost like a reverse, I don't know, I can't really call it voter suppression because that's not really accurate, but they're trying to change the way that we've done elections in the past. And they're of course their scapegoat is the virus, right? It's the virus. It's too dangerous. You can herd into Walmart like a bunch of sheep through one entrance because the virus spreads to the other entrance. Obviously, that's Walmart's backwards pseudoscience logic. But it's okay to go to Walmart and funnel in one entrance while we close at 8 p.m. So now we're gonna have twice as many people in a shorter amount of time. That's safe, but if you line up, go into a voting booth by yourself where you're socially distanced from other people, you're going to spread the virus, so you can't vote in person. Also, this is not political, and we're going to gaslight you and tell you that we're just trying to keep you safe. That's what's going to happen in these states. They're going to encourage people to vote by mail. They're going to try to make it impossible for people to vote in person. To me, that's unconstitutional, and that is actually voter suppression. While they say Republicans are trying to suppress the vote, they don't want minorities to vote. Well, how are you going to allow people to vote? How are you going to block people from going to vote in person? closing voting booths. They're going to do that. That's what is going to happen. And unfortunately, all of the swing states, with the exception of Florida, are governed by Democratic governors. So every single one of them, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, all have Democrat governors. Now, if somehow Ron DeSantis didn't win, we'd be in big trouble in Florida. Big time trouble. Jacqueline said in all caps, Ginsburg has died. Thank you. Rest in peace to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Yes, that is the title of this video, but thank you for letting me know. Sometimes when my live streams are this long, it's hard to stay on one topic the entire time, so I just kind of, I just make the rounds on everything. Oh, and I can't even forget, man, I forgot all about, because I want to suppress that from my memory, the Netflix show Cuties. Back to this spiritual warfare. Look they put it right in your face. Netflix promoting this disgusting movie with 11-year-old girls, and it's rated TVMA for a mature audience. When you go to their Twitter page, go to Netflix's Twitter page, and they're promoting a show called Lucifer. They put it right in your face. Mike Paul said, Mike, I enjoyed our time talking before. You're a good dude, and I'm praying for you, my brother. God bless you. I don't know where we met. Maybe we met at I don't know if we met at a Florida Trump flag wave. I've been all over the place the past few weeks. And unfortunately, I have a friend in town next weekend, so I will not be at the Jacksonville rally. It breaks my heart because that's right down the street from my house. Like, I could literally be there within an hour. So I will not be able to make that one. But I will be at one of these Ohio rallies. And then I will be at the rally in Moontown, I think it's what it's called. It's basically Pittsburgh. And then after that, who knows? I have a tendency to think that Trump is going to be holding more than one rally in Florida, so there will be another opportunity. But for the most part, I see him staying in the eastern half of the U.S. I mean, yeah, sure, he's got to be out in Arizona, Nevada, but I mean, I think he's gonna win Arizona. Nevada, I mean, it's hard to say. I think he'll win Nevada, but I don't know. I say he's bigger fish to fry, definitely, than Nevada. Namely, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Minnesota. So I think he'll still be in this region, which is great because the flights are shorter. Flying out to the West Coast from Florida just sounds awful. LSG, Mike, please read your Bible and truly get close to Christ. Please, please. I mean, yeah, we all need to be doing that. I'm close to Christ. I am close to Jesus Christ. I talk to God all the time. I pray. I hit my knees all the time. When I have problems, I pray. My mom says, pray about everything, worry about nothing. You know, I grew up in the church, and God called me to this purpose, this higher purpose. What I'm doing now is bigger than me. This is not about me lining my pockets. This is not about me getting social media clout. This is not about me trying to make it big and be the next Brandon Tatum or whoever. I could care less about the clout. I care more about the truth. I care more about the message. I care more about waking people up so they can see what's happening, see this spiritual warfare taking place right in front of our very faces. We've never seen anything like this. Have we ever seen anything like this? Not to this magnitude. And if you're old enough to have seen like World War II and other stuff like that, look where we are now. Look where we are now. This is insane. And it just reached a whole new level with the passing of RBG right before the election. Like, how many times did she almost die? How many times was like, they're like, RBG died. Just kidding. No, she didn't. Right-wing conspiracy theory. They want her to die so Trump can have another SCOTUS pick. I feel like that's been going on for the past couple years. What are the odds that RBG passes away right before the most important election anybody is going to vote in 2020, with all the other crazy years. Remember back in the beginning of the year when Kobe Bryant died and all this other stuff? It's like so much has happened this year that you just lost track, or you're not like numb to it now. It's just everything is happening all the time. It's always happening. Volume 10, level 10. RBG passes away literally 45 days before the 2020 election. You cannot make this stuff up. The timing of it is just way too crazy. And no, I do not have interest in going down the rabbit holes of she's been dead for a long time. Like, I'm not there anymore. That stuff used to be kind of interesting. Used to watch some of those like more conspiratorial things, but no, I want to deal with what's actually tangibly truthful, something that I can verify, confirm. I need concrete stuff. I can't mess around with speculation. If I am speculating, I will straight up tell you, like, this is my belief, this is my speculation, and it's something that I thought of. Trust in God's plan and keep your faith close to your heart. So I just got this a couple days ago, just so I can carry this with me. I got to carry the cross with me. I know some people don't think that means anything. I have a St. Christopher in my car when I drive. My dad gave it to me. He uses it for road trips, so do I. It's supposed to keep you safe while you're on the road. And just as a general rule, you should never drive faster than your guardian angels can fly. I don't. I really believe that stuff. RBG said she would not die or leave the SCOTUS until a Democrat was in office. Well, that didn't happen. And you don't have control over when you die. God is in control. These people, they want to be God. They want to play God. They want to change your gender. They want to change your climate. They want to change the number of people living on the planet because they hate God. They mock God. They undermine God. Red Pill Portal said, what's truthfully and factually happening is the greatest conspiracy in the history of the world. It actually is a conspiracy. It actually is. It's all coming to light right now. It's all coming to light, and you got people telling the truth, people not afraid of their platform that they're on. Newt Gingrich on Fox News says George Soros is funding all these prosecutors. That is factually true. And Fox News shut him down. Newt Gingrich said something based on Fox News, and they're like, no. We don't need to bring George Soros into this. Who are these people? I think Tucker Carlson should just go independent, because I don't really want to support Fox News at all. I would rather Tucker Carlson go independent. He could set up his own version of YouTube or something like that and have a bunch of other content creators on there. I would join. Dude, you're doing a fantastic job everywhere. Keep being you. Thank you very much. I try, I try. And sometimes words just come to me. Tonight, I felt like they didn't. I struggled a little bit, but that was just maybe all in my head. I'm just learning. Some people go to college for this. I mean, I went to I studied communications in college, so I'm right where I should be as far as it's in line with what I studied. But some people went to school specifically for journalism, and they really only get opportunities to cover like homicides in their local area, right? They're covering I'm covering this presidential election. Like, you see the risers, you don't see the risers, but the risers are small. There's less than 40 people standing up there with me covering the president's events. How many people would pay money just for the opportunity to put that on their resume, to say that they reported on President Trump rallies? People on the left too, people who don't like Trump, they're cashing in on him. Good for them. Good for them. Two things can be true at the same time. You can hate Trump and get your money, but at the end of the day, know that he's the reason you got your money. And a lot of people, all these people, John Bolton, all these people getting New York Times #1 bestseller books because of President Trump. Their hatred for President Trump is making them rich. He's creating jobs and opportunities for even people who hate him. It's like, you hate Trump? We'll give you a platform to tell us why you hate Trump. Let's hear your voice mouth the same garbage that we do. Let's hear your version of why Trump is bad. So even the people who hate him are profiting off of his presidency. So what does that tell you? That we need to elect him for 4 more years. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those people secretly vote for him just so they can spend 4 more years cashing in, clout chasing. I can't really say I blame them. Get your money. Do your thing. Yeah, Rachel Maddow, her ratings. Whole Russia collusion. She probably bought a whole new mansion off of that 3-year lie she peddled to her mindless followers. Let me not say that because I know people that watch Rachel Maddow. But there are people who are mindless that follow her. It's like whatever direction she leads them in, they will follow, even if it's right off a cliff. Don't you love it when you say you are for Trump and people assume you get your info from Fox? Oh my gosh, that's like the most common thing. They say, you need to turn off Fox News. Like, nobody watches Fox. I mean, people still watch Fox News, but they don't watch it religiously the way they did before. A lot of people watch Fox News because of the president now. But for the most part, they're turning to alternative media. Look at Ben Shapiro. Look at Dan Bongino. Look at the Hodge twins. Look at Anthony Brian Logan. Look at Mike Nificent. They're turning to just patriots, just citizens, because the fake news is real and it's pervasive. It's on all sides. It's Fox News, it's CBS, it's NPR, it's everywhere. It's Lester Holt, it's PBS. It's all of these people. It's all these networks. They're all controlled by the same 6 mega corporations anyway. So of course their message is going to be uniform. I don't even watch the news. I watch conservatives. Tucker Carlson is the only person to watch on there. That's not to say I don't like other people on there, but Tucker Carlson is the only show that I watch nightly on there. I don't watch Hannity. I don't watch Laura Ingraham. I think they're cool. They can be a little bombastic, Laura Ingraham. But I mean, they're cool. They're fine. But I watch Tucker. I like what's the guy's name? Greg Gutfeld is funny. I like Jesse Waters. I mean, I like most of the people on Fox, but Tucker Carlson's the only one that hits it out of the park night after night, and he doesn't care. He'll go after Republicans too. But I wonder what would happen if I think Tucker would have said something about George Soros. He has. He's called out George Soros on his show. So what's up with the rest of Fox News? And how is Tucker still on that network? Blows my mind. I watch Tucker on YouTube also. Yes, that's right, Dino. I actually don't even tune into the live show, so I'm not supporting the network. That's a good point. So I'm watching his show without tuning into the network and watch your stupid pharma pill commercials. That's all it is. You turn on Fox News, because sometimes it's on my TV. And the commercials are all about like pills and like, you can tell they know their audience. It's no offense to the people that are of this age demographic, but they are marketing it towards the older end of the boomers, because even like the people that are in their 50s, low 50s, I guess that's like the boomer age group, right? They're watching me. They know about right side broadcasting, but it's like the senior, like up there boomers and above them, they're still watching Fox News. And on the other side, they're still watching ABC News. They're watching George Stephanopoulos, and they're watching NBC Nightly News. They're watching Meet the Press. Who watches that garbage anymore? Even on the left, they're watching Young Turks. I hate the Young Turks, but they're watching the Young Turks. The Young Turks are on the internet. They're watching secular talk. They're watching younger people, new age media. This is the new age media. I support all the new age media, even the stuff on the left, because At least it's their version of what they think is real in the country. They're not, at least I can say for secular talk, I don't agree with hardly anything the dude says. He gets some things right. At least it's a real person. I don't think he's backed by some big corporation. He's not getting talking points at 4 a.m. Can you tell me where I can look? Somebody look it up. I guess that wasn't for me. How can you hate Chunky Chink? Oh my gosh, he tweeted something crazy about RBG. He said, what did he say? He's like, he's just so unhinged. He's just an emotional creature. He's wild. He's tweeting about RBG. He's like, what? Democrats, this can't happen. We cannot have this president get reelected. As I'm reading his tweet, I'm picturing him yelling it on his show. He's like left-wing Alex Jones, except just way more unhinged. Alex Jones, I think, is actually funny. He said a lot of stuff what Alex Jones does, hyperbole. Cenk Uygur is just a meaner, unhinged version of Alex Jones, but on the left. Tim Pool, that's another one. How could I forget about Tim Pool? Tim Pool is one of the most honest people, I think. I think he can be a little naive. He's a little bit too trusting. But for the most part, I trust the information I get from him. Like, I don't think he's lying about what he's talking about. I think he's pretty genuine in what he's talking about, and he's not afraid to say, like, I think conservatives have this wrong. It's almost kind of like a gut check. So I'm a fan of Tim Pool. I don't watch all of his stuff, but if he puts out a video and I'm interested in the topic, I will watch it and I will send it to people. I trust his stuff to send to people because the way he breaks it down, the way he articulates things, I think will really resonate with people who are undecided, because he's calm and rational, but he also will show his emotion. He'll show passion for stuff that people should be passionate about. When he talks about this left-wing violence and these mobs and these protesters that are peaceful, mostly peaceful, when he talks about it, he gets mad, as anybody should get mad about Trump supporters getting arrested for defending their property, or how Antifa's just beating people within an inch of their life and getting away with it. He talks about that stuff. So Tim Pool's another good channel. But that's where we're at. That's where we're going. New age media, right side broadcasting is the future. It just is. So the best is yet to come. Good days are ahead. I should probably end this thing, but I'm just on a roll right now. We had to replace SCJ. I don't know what SCJ is. Before the election. So Demo can't cheat. Yeah. Dude, you are a very dedicated man. How many hours have you been out now? How many hours have I been out? Let's see. I woke up at like 8 o'clock this morning, Central Time. And I just feel, sometimes I feel energetic and I can't sleep because there's so much on my mind, and it takes a long time for me to unwind after work. So no matter how much sleep I got the night before, if I work late, I need a certain amount of time to unwind, relax, before I can actually fall asleep. So I figured with everything going on in the country and with what just happened with RBG, I actually had to say something about it. I actually had to. Oh, SCJ, Supreme Court Judge. Thanks, DM. Mike, can we say a prayer for everyone at the end and ask anyone who isn't saved to ask for forgiveness from the Lord? I have never thought about doing that on my channel, but I think that could be appropriate. For the longest time, I guess I was feeling a certain type of way when I was actually more motivated to try to grow my channel and maintain an audience. Like, what kind of content am I putting out? I don't want to turn people off. And so I was kind of hesitant to bring God into talking about what I talk about. And then I slowly started doing it, and I'm like, no, I'm going in, I'm full throttle, because without God, I wouldn't be where I am right now. And I don't care who gets mad, who gets offended, who's not a Christian, and they're like, I'm turned off by this, because I've seen it with other channels. They're like, you turned Christian, and I'm not supporting you anymore. It's like, but that's where the truth is. That's where you don't have to actually agree. You don't. I'm not saying like, I'm not here to like condemn people and like, I'm not here to say like, well, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you're going to hell. That's not my place to condemn somebody and say you're gonna burn in the lake of fire because you don't think what I think. That's not where I'm at. But part of that was me being uh, too selfish and not giving credit and sing the praises of the Lord. And now I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it all the time now. Not a fan of finger waggers. Yeah, yeah, and me neither am I. That's why you don't see me doing it. That's why you don't see me doing it. I just say like, God is truth, God is real, and God to you could be different than God to me, right? I don't believe in certain people, like people who grew up in India and they like practice Hinduism. That's what they grew up. If they're a good person, I think that their prayers will get answered. I think that God will show them the light, whatever light they need to see, whatever they have to go through to be a better person while they're in their shell to move to a higher divine level. That's what they need to do. But I'm not here to say like everybody needs to convert Christian or else. Like, remember the Christian crusades, remember like back in the day when everything was super barbaric and stuff. I think we're moving to a higher timeline because we're intellectual beings and we're like, I don't know, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I'm not going to be that person that's going to shame someone because they're not a Christian. I won't do that. Instead, I'll pray for people. I'll just pray that they get right with God and that they don't fall victim to the darkness, how they don't fall to the spiritual, because it's so easy in this world. This is the devil's playground. If you haven't noticed, people can just flip on a dime and kill someone because they let their emotions cloud their judgment. They get overwhelmed by a demonic force because they were operating in darkness, because they were focused on low vibration stuff. They were taking in like really low density negative stuff like this degeneracy, the rap music, the Cardi B, these satanic shows on Netflix, this dark evil stuff that can overwhelm you and open you up for doing the bidding of the dark one. It's really that simple. So I'm just really just trying to guide people to the light and guide people to the Lord. But it's your journey, should you choose to accept it. I think we live in a great time where we have internet and Christians can reach millions of souls. I feel like the Lord actually just flows through my vocal cords when I talk. The words just come to me. Like even when I'm on stage, it happens more sometimes than other times. Today I didn't feel it as much, but like the first time they put a microphone in front of me and they're like, all right, Mike, talk to the audience of 100,000 people watching you on YouTube now. The words just came to me and it just worked. I just think this is all God's work for me to be with Right Side Broadcasting. And for those of you that have been subscribed to me since I had like 200 subscribers, you've seen the turmoil, you've seen the ups and downs, you see me go through it with Turning Point, thinking, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be over here with these people. I'm gonna be with David Harris Jr. and Brandon Tatum and all these people. And then that didn't really work out, and then other things happened, and losing my dog, like all a bunch of things that I've went through. Now where I am now is where God wants me to be. And we're at these rallies for the president, and you get these pastors, they go on stage and they pray and every head bows. And we talk about God and we talk about love and we talk about truth and we talk about hope. That I feed off of that, and then I can talk more fluid on air. These kinds of things are happening. Lots of divine things happening, but also lots of dark, evil things happening in the world. It's just, what do you subscribe to? What are you choosing to focus your energy on? Because whatever you focus on is going to expand and it's going to make you better or it's going to ultimately destroy you. I was told I had cancer 3 weeks ago, and on Tuesday I went back to the docs and it was gone. Brother, what? You guys hear that? Mike Paul said he was told he had cancer 3 weeks ago, and he went in Tuesday and the doc said the cancer was gone. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's just that's incredible. That's incredible, man. Cancer is just, oh man. You guys remember my friend Bill, right? Remember I did a video a couple months ago saying please support my friend Bill, his GoFundMe page, because he had 9 tumors in his brain. Well, he passed away about 3 weeks ago, and he was one of the first people I met in Florida. Super cool guy. He was like, I think he was 69. You know, I didn't care that he was older than me. He was cool. We talked about football all the time. He was just a nice person, just a good human being. You know when you can like meet somebody and you can read their energy and you can just feel their soul. You feel like that is a very good person. Somebody who's just got a lot of love, a lot of happiness and joy, and they just want to share it with you. That's who Bill was. And that's why I felt it was important for me to do whatever I could to try to help him during the worst thing that he would ever go through. The worst thing that his wife would ever go through. She just lost her best friend. So the only thing I could think to do was to share with my followers his GoFundMe page, and you guys flooded him with donations. You helped her deal with losing her best friend because she was able to spend the most time possible. She didn't have to worry about missing work because she had enough money to support the bills and everything, because you guys helped. Because I took it upon myself to just, first of all, I gave a donation, but then I said, will you guys send all the donation money you were going to give me, give it to Bill. And you guys did that. He passed away because of cancer. You guys also did the same thing with me losing my dog when he was diagnosed with cancer. And I was like, man, this just crazy. And I thought that I could try to save his life. Cancer is just, it's a beast, man. So that's incredible that you beat cancer, essentially. That's it. You know, nature gives us everything that can heal us. Disease is I don't remember where I heard this before, but it made a lot of sense to me. Does the word disease, cancer is a disease, right? What is disease? Dis-ease. Your body is diseased. Your mind can heal you, essentially. It sounds really crazy and like hippie spiritual stuff, but it's kind of true. You can heal yourself with the proper mindset. Take, for example, Richard Overton, that guy. And then I really should go to bed after this. I really will. Guy named Richard Overton. For those that live in Texas, you know exactly who this man is. Nat Geo did a little piece on him. Richard Overton was the oldest living World War II vet. He lived to be like 112 or something like that. He was old. The dude still drove a truck. He wasn't in a nursing home. He smoked a cigar every single day. He ate the same ice cream every single day. And he drank like cognac every single day into his hundreds. And he lived to be like 112. His mindset, they interviewed the guy and he was talking about how his mindset, he wasn't afraid to die. People are so afraid to die that they stop living. They're walking around in masks. They're wearing masks when they're driving around. They're germaphobes, wiping down walls with freaking Clorox wipes now. People are freaking out, and those are the people that get sick. So I just say that to say, like, the mindset of somebody who can live to be 115 while eating ice cream, smoking cigars, and drinking whiskey every single day. That's the kind of person that I can jive with. That's my mindset right there. It's like, live your best life, be happy, do what you want, and stop worrying about what could happen. Stop trying to prevent something from happening and focus on what you want to happen. I just think there's so much truth. There's so much happening right now. People are starting to wake up. The paradigm is shifting. The world is shifting. All these things are just starting to come to fruition. A lot of stuff, a lot of awakening, a spiritual awakening, a global awakening. It's not just the United States. It's Japan. It's over in Europe, Berlin, where they're protesting, hundreds of thousands of people protesting. Hong Kong, South America. I forget which country was in South America. They were fed up with some kind of subway or railway tax. So they had hundreds of thousands of people protesting peacefully, not flipping cars and burning stuff, but they're in the streets united, regardless of their political, they united. That's what we need here to have a true revolution. Not a communist revolution, but I mean like draining the actual swamp. These demons in the swamp, these actual people, these people that, like, look at the faces of these people. I'm not kidding, guys. You can see it in some of their faces. Have you ever just looked at Maxine Waters? I'm not saying this to like make fun of her appearance, no. But there's this video of somebody who confronted Maxine Waters a couple years ago as she's walking into an elevator, and then she's hiding behind security, and she just has this look in her eyes where it looks so evil. If I can find the clip, I'll send it to you guys so you can see. Maxine Waters, you can see it. You can see it in Nancy Pelosi. You can see it in Chuck Schumer. You can see it in Andrew Cuomo. Some people, you just look at them, you're like, there's something there. There's something going on with that person. You see it in Hillary Clinton. You see it in Obama. You do. I'm just saying, man, like these people, man, there's something going on. You see it in Kamala Harris. I don't know what that was on CNN. Man, you see it with the Hollywood, with the symbolism, like Lady Gaga, like all of this dark stuff. They all like Joe Biden. They all think Trump is the bad guy. I just want to point that out, that the people who practice occult ritual stuff and the people who turn a blind eye to human traffickers and pedo stuff and, oh, Kevin Spacey, oh, I'm just going to come out as bisexual and everyone will forget that I just molested kids. Like this stuff, these people all hate President Trump. I just want to point that out, that the most demonic people all hate President Trump. The people who traffic and support touching little kids, the people who promote Netflix documentaries, those people all hate President Trump. The people who are, so against all these things here. The United States is so sexist and oppresses women. They ignore what happens in the Middle East. Women can't even show their faces over there. These people are profiting off of Chinese children's sweatshop labor. LeBron James, Colin Kaepernick, all these Nike, all these massively hypocritical, wealthy people lecturing us about racism while being the richest minorities in the world. Give me a break. These people are all liars. They're all sick. They're wicked. They support the world's worst people. And they all hate President Trump. While pastors, preachers, Christians, evangelicals, people who just love light, truth, freedom, and happiness are all on the side with President Trump, praying for him every day. That's what's going on in the world. And nobody's going to convince me that that's not what's happening in the world. That's what is happening right now. These spiritual stuff, there's so much, guys. Like, there's a video of Chuck Schumer, like, talking to something that isn't there. It's on the Senate floor. He goes to try to sit down in a chair, and then he stands up really quick and he looks over and he like points as if he's talking to someone that's not there. That's something you would see in like some kind of weird exorcist movie. Not to mention, they support some of these just demonic bills, the infanticide, just all this stuff's coming out right now. That's all I'm going to say. And all these people hate President Trump. Now the truth is stranger than fiction, isn't it, guys? Did you see Biden wave at thin air? No, I did not. But I've seen other crazy stuff. Over the years, I've seen these videos. You can find all the stuff on YouTube. There's a video with Al Roker. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Al Roker, the guy that does the ABC, whatever, Good Morning America. He does the weather. There's a video of him like under MK Ultra mind control. I don't know, I can't confirm, like this was definitely MK Ultra mind control, but there's a video where he's like for like A long time. Like, I'm not kidding. It's for at least a solid like 2 minutes. He's on a set with like three other people. They're all talking, moving, and he's just looking at the camera, stiff as a statue. Same thing with Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq, that's happened a couple times with Shaq. What is that? Where does that happen? When have you ever seen anybody do that in your life? I'm guessing never. So why you put that in video in front of somebody and they'll be like, dang, that's crazy. Let me get back to my Netflix show. Because people don't want to deal with this truth. They want to bury their head in the sand, pretend we can't let that happen anymore. We got to wake people up, man. We got to snap people free from this matrix. That's what it is. That's what they want you to be doing. Dumbed down, divorced from reality, and not paying attention to what's happening. So I will post those kinds of videos, the stuff they talk about, man, the stuff Oprah said, Sandra Bullock when she went on Ellen talking about the Korean baby foreskin, just sick stuff. Deplorable07, thank you for the super chat. Earth is roughly 7,000 years old, not billions. Went from 70,000 years to 4.5 billion in 90 years. Scientists lie to keep you from God. Yes, they do that. Yes, they do that. If they can detach you from the divine, that is step one in controlling you. Then they can destroy God's divine order. They can disrupt God's divine order. The nuclear family, they can destroy that. They can destroy nature. They can artificially inseminate and do all this stuff. This science can undermine God. And that's exactly what they're doing. Science, some would say technology is used to undermine God. These virtual reality, AI, blurring the lines of reality. There's already an online version of you. We're basically already living online. You guys are watching me through a computer screen or a phone right now. Isn't that crazy? There's a lot of stuff going on right now. The undermining of God, the undermining of truth, the undermining of reality, inversion of reality, the opposite, polar opposite of reality, using science to lie to you about things, and everything that they propose, and I say, when I say they, I kind of like mostly mean Democrats, their policies, all of it just runs contrary to the laws of nature. It's contrary to the divine order of life. We are the only species that justifies killing our offspring. Yeah, right? I mean, I'm sure there's some weird anomalies in nature where I think hamsters eat their babies or something weird like that. But for the most part, no other species eats its own, destroys its own, its offspring. Humans do that. We justify it. We call it a woman's right to choose because they can't call it what it actually is. They have to use, they have to manipulate language and play around with semantics, euphemisms. Planned Parenthood, because saying abortion clinic or, it's a clinic where you go to actually end someone's life. You're not planning anyone's parenthood. You're planning someone's death. They can't say that. So they have to bury the truth with a euphemism because the truth is too harsh. These stupid politically correct terms ruin the truth. And I'm done being, I don't think I ever truly was politically correct, but I tried to play the game where I didn't want to offend anyone. So let me just say it this way. I don't try to go out of my way to offend someone. Like, I'm not going to say something just because I hope it offends someone, but I'm not going to overthink something or overanalyze how I'm going to articulate a message just because I think someone's going to get pissed off. If you're not pissed off, you're not paying attention. Earth isn't old. Earth age isn't proven. It's a theory, so show me proof. Are you guys going back and forth? I don't have any interest in how old the Earth is. Just like I don't have any interest on whether the Earth is flat or not. It is so unimportant. These flat earthers, it's like a religion to them. They love it. They love it. They're so obsessed with the earth being flat or round. I'm like, if you could prove that the earth was flat and everybody agreed, okay, the earth is flat, then what? Okay, now what? It changes nothing. It's so like meaningless to even focus on that. But the flat earthers are all about it. They have flat earth apparel. It's almost like a nerdy thing. It's very much a nerdy thing. I don't say that because I'm judging them. I'm saying it's like being really into comic books or something. It's just their thing. It's their thing. They go to conventions. They have flat, instead of having a globe in their house, they have like a flat earth thing. I've seen some documentaries about it just because I find it interesting. Not that I'm into flat earth. I just think it's interesting that people are into it. And I'm just like, what would it change if you could prove to everyone that it's true and they all agreed? Do you say that to prove that the government is lying? I'm like, that's a good way to wake people up to the government is lying. Yeah, that's good. So I'm not totally against what they're doing. They have a right to do it. My Red Pill Portal said, the flat earthers is a deep state psyop to discredit conspiracy theorists. That sounds like a conspiracy theory in itself. This conspiracy theory is actually a deep state psyop against conspiracy theories. That's hilarious. Yes, Earth is about. Oh my gosh, are you guys still talking about how old the Earth is? I'm not gonna read. Sorry, you can still have that conversation, but I'm gonna skip past those chats. I'm just. This is a non-starter. We need to talk, not text. Mike, we need to talk, not text. Do you mean like we should not be texting through the phone because that puts us more into a digital existence? It gets us more comfortable with our distance from each other. Is that what you mean? Or do you mean like you want people to stop texting here? I think you meant the former, right? That we got to stop texting and got to start having conversations. We need to have face-to-face conversations. They want us divided. They want us not only divided from each other, they want us divided from each other physically. They want us separated and isolated. They call us social distancing. How can you be social while you're distancing from someone? That's double speak. They want us to socially distance, and it's the new normal. But yet we're all in this together, but they want us to be online all the time. And we've already kind of, without even them having to force us to do it, force us into doing it, we've already been doing that. We've already been online. Most of what you do, most of how you talk to people and interact is through your phone or through a computer screen. Especially now in the days of COVID, you might still see people in person, but it's not like it was before where you would fly and you would get together for barbecues or go meet up at the beach or do whatever. Some people are starting to do that. That's why when COVID first hit, I encouraged people to just totally reject it and go live your life normal. Like their agenda cannot work without our compliance. Because we outnumber the people trying to control us. So I think that people should have been defying lockdown orders from the beginning, because you can't jail everybody. You can't lock everybody up. It can't work without our participation. We have to participate in our own destruction. Some sheep will walk directly to the slaughter. Others have to be herded, and others will just run away. I'm not a sheep, so I don't know, but I'm just saying we should be interacting in person as much as possible. Someone said they want pancakes now. I literally had pancakes. I had breakfast for breakfast and for dinner. We went to this same restaurant we went this morning. It's like a few blocks from the hotel. It's cheap and the food was great and the service is nice. These Minnesotans are so dang nice, man. The cops were just nice. As they're directing traffic, they walk to the window while you're waiting at the light. It's like, what? The cop just comes up. Oh, how's your night going? Oh, you'll be safe out there. With their Minnesota accent. The closer you get to the Canadian border, the more they start sounding like straight up Canadian. Oh, you mean more FaceTime where more people are using voice? I agree. More people need to do that. Mm. Mike, it's not a joke. It's called counterintelligence, a tactic they've been using for many years. I was halfway joking at what you said, but I don't doubt it, man. There's just so much truth out there. Truth is raining from the sky, but some of it is not necessarily true. It's just information that you were not of that was not available to you before, or you weren't aware of before. So you might discern it as truth, but you really need to like do the research for yourself, pray on it, think about it, and decide if you think it's real. Because I've seen so many different things. Take for example the QAnon thing. That thing has been talked about at nauseum by all kind of people. People who are in the movement, people who are not, people who are criticizing it, people who support it, and everybody has a different theory about what's happening. They say like even when Trump's not doing it, he's actually doing it, and when he says this, he really means this. When he does that, he's really doing that. It's like no, he's doing what actually happened. That's what I think is. It's not like there's some double meaning behind everything he tweets and says, because what that happens is you start you psych yourself out. You just become crazy over analyzing everything, and then next thing you know, you're misleading people, and it's just not helpful. But at the same time, they have connected a lot of dots and they've done a lot of research, but there's just a lot of different theories about things, and sometimes you actually don't know. I think it's better to admit that you don't know what's real than to assume that you know what is real and then start living your life by it and start like changing everything because of it. Um, anyways, it wow, that means that I set a record. I think a personal record. I've never gone live for more than maybe I have once or twice, but typically I wrap up after about an hour. Hour and a half is the max. But if I make it 15 more minutes, that'll be a personal record for me. And the way I see it, this is kind of practice, right? Because with RSBN, they're going to ask me to go live for anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, sometimes by myself. I was lucky today to have Justin, but this was technically supposed to be my first solo event. And so I got to get comfortable talking for a long period of time, especially sitting in one place, standing in one place. But I'm going to try to make it for another 15 minutes. I think that's a good cutoff. So now in 13 minutes, I will be ending this for real, for real. So get in your last questions, your last stuff, your all the stuff you have to say. Because I like reading these. I like reading these comments as they come in. You guys are hilarious. They're going to write harder than they are now. I think not. The left are giving it their all already. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to imagine that they're going to riot harder than they have because they've already and the thing is they're destroying their own stuff. They're destroying. We're living in two Americas right now. There's the left version of America, and it's these liberal cities, these big liberal cities where all this destruction and chaos is happening. And then there's conservative rural America, there's small town America, there's suburban America, and people from all different walks of life. I know they try to make it sound like America's just like the rural parts of America is just rich old white farmers or whatever they try to stereotype people. I've been out in the country and I see Asians, I see Filipinos, I've met Hispanics, I've met all kind of black people all out in the rural parts of this country in places you wouldn't even think. But what they're doing is they're destroying their own areas. Portland burning affects only the leftists that live in Portland. So if they just insist on burning up their own stuff, let them. That sucks for the people who live there that don't support it. But hey, they probably also voted for Ted Wheeler, who let them do it anyway. So you kind of get what you vote for. So your choices are vote these people out or leave. Like there's a mass exodus from California now. People want to go live somewhere where it's safe, where it's clean, where it's not insane, where they don't have corrupt big government leadership, and the taxes aren't insane. So if they're going to riot, burn, loot, murder, I mean, there's not much left for them to burn, loot, and murder except for each other. I don't like it. I don't celebrate it. I don't like that at all. But I'm saying that's what they have free will. They can do that. They got to take it up with God. I'll still pray for everyone's safety, but for the most part, hey man, you reap what you sow. You do it, and if the chickens come home to roost, you organize a protest, and then next thing you know, you organize one of these riots, and then they come to your house and destroy your property. I can't really feel bad for you. Someone said, just don't. Oh, I see we got 600 likes. Someone's like, don't stop it at 666 likes. That's so funny. Won't Trump stop it once he's elected? I don't think he can stop it. I don't think you just stop evil. God will ultimately defeat it. In the end, we win. Satan's reign of terror is going to come to an end, and that's just the way it's going to happen, which is why he's working overtime. Because he wants to collect as many souls as he can, and they're the forces of darkness. But I don't think Trump getting reelected is just going to end violence and crime in Democrat cities. It's just not. I think that his reelection will probably intensify it right away, but it'll eventually, I think it'll calm down. I don't know. I can't even pretend to know what's going to happen. We're in uncharted territory. I have no idea what's going to happen after this election. I don't know what the world's going to look like. I don't know what America's going to look like. It's hard to say. What is New Year's going to look like? Think about New Year's of last year. For most people, it's just an ordinary day. Maybe you went out, maybe you celebrated, maybe you stayed at home and watched the ball drop. Who's going to be looking at New Year's this year the same way they have every other year? Is the ball going to drop? Certainly, there's not going to be people gathering in Times Square. We're going to just start to look at we're going to approach New Year's differently now. I guarantee it. It's not going to be like, Happy New Year. It's going to be like, people are going to be looking around. Like, when the ball drops, they're going to be thinking, like, is something about to explode? Because it's been that kind of year. People are going to start looking at things way differently. They want us to be more paranoid. They want us to be living in fear. And again, fear, focused on what you don't want. That's what actually will manifest what you don't want when you focus on it. So we should really not be thinking about that. But people are probably going to be approaching things much, much differently going forward. I don't know where I was going with that or where that point came from. I want my last New Year's back. Someone said, I don't think you're going to get it. I don't think you want your last New Year's back, because that means you have to then relive everything that transpired afterwards. I don't want to reset this. No. I want to move forward. I want to put this behind me. I want to focus on the better days ahead. New things are coming. Yeah, some of the stuff is really interesting to me. Some of the stuff that I've listened to from Q and all that, I just like introducing myself to new and interesting information. Doesn't mean I endorse it, doesn't mean I agree with it. I'm just like, that is a very interesting concept. Let me marinate on it. Let me think about that, and let me see if it makes sense. So I looked into some of the stuff, and some of these guys are actually really good in terms of how they articulate what they have to say, how they connect dots, how they can deliver the message in a way that actually will make sense to you and you can digest it without it sounding like a crackpot conspiracy. Some of these guys, and no, X22 is not one of these people. I think it's an okay channel, but I think it's just a little bit too optimistic. That's the channel that I was referring to, where they're like, Trump's actually doing this when he does that. So even though it looks like it's bad, it's actually good. And these things are happening. Trump and the Patriots, the white hats. Like, I'm like, no, because that channel, I was really turned off by that with COVID. Like, that's when QAnon, the stuff did really, I was really like, nah, man, because they were saying basically that the COVID shutdowns were for our own good. I'm like, no, 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 no. But anyway, some of these guys talked about how we're going to be moving to a cashless society, and but basically we're going to move, they're trying to move us to a cashless society, but what we're actually going to do is bring back the gold standard, which I'm all about. Let's go back to the gold standard. We need to move away from this fiat currency. We need to get away from these debt-based society, right? We're just debt slaves. That's how they want. That's how you. That's slave. That's a slave state of being when you have debt and stuff like that. So if we get back to like a gold standard, there's no more inflating currency. That's that kind of thing. That would be awesome. And that the central banks are going to crumble, like that kind of thing. But the other aspect is what they want, the Bill Gates, the quantum dot, the we're going to chip you, and that chip is going to not only give us your location, it's going to tell us if you have COVID and any other disease, and also you can swipe your wrist and pay for stuff and access buildings. I'm not about that life. Elon Musk with the brain stem, I'm not about that life. Nope. You can miss me with all that stuff. I will not be getting it. I will not be getting a vaccine. I will not be getting a micro. None of that thing. None of those things. But that's kind of what they want. The mark of the beast. The one world currency stuff. That they talk about that a little bit. And most people, and this is how you know, most people, whether or not they want to admit or not, they are actually very much on this side with God, because they will say, people on the left, they'll be like, I know plenty of people, they're like, I'm not getting that vaccine. I'm not getting the mark of the beast. I'm like, see, you're starting to get it. You're starting to get it. You're starting to look past this stuff. You're actually able to see what's happening. You just haven't really tied it to our current political climate, because people would say like, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing this, but then they'll still vote Biden. They'll still support these policies that make it a lot easier for the government to take control and mandate something like a vaccine, because once you give them that much power, you can't take it, you can't take it away. They would have to get rid of our Second Amendment altogether in order for this to happen. So I'm not too concerned about a mandatory vaccine, because there's more guns in this country than there are people, and I hope it stays that way. Everybody should have 10 guns in their house. That's how I feel about it. Everybody should have 10 guns in their house. You want to see crime down? Everybody has 10 guns in their house. Nobody's going to break into anybody's house. That's how I feel about it. We actually could get closer to a utopia if everybody were on the same page about the Second Amendment, and the government and the tyrannical government, that just, it would be perfect if everybody could get on the same page about at least that. For some reason, that felt like a tangent. I don't know why. So that's why. 3 minutes, and we're wrapping up before I start sounding like Biden and I start making less sense. If we did a time lapse, 3 hours go by, and I'm like, what you say, you lying dog face bonus soldier? I'll start talking like Biden. What was he talking about? Okay, this is what I'm going to wrap up on. I couldn't say this on air, but what was that Joe Biden clip from his town hall? I feel like, to be fair and to not be a hypocrite, I should watch the whole town hall in context, because I need to know what he was talking about. When he was talking about gay bathhouses, and then he started walking towards Anderson Cooper. What was that, guys? What was that? That might top the list. I don't know what that was. He starts talking about El Despacito. That was just cringe. But the town hall, where he's talking about gay bathhouses, he said some other crazy stuff. He said, if Trump would have just listened to the science, all those people that died, 200,000 people, they'd still be here today. So he blamed President Trump for every single COVID death. If Trump had just listened to the science and taken the pandemic seriously, all the people that died from COVID would still be alive. That is Joe Biden in his own mind saying that if he were president, he would be God and nobody would die from COVID. And of course, nobody took him to task over that. They're just gonna pretend like it didn't happen, just like he didn't say, "Hey, look, fat, your dog faced pony soldier," and everything else he said. That was nuts. But if somebody has seen that clip where he's talking about the gay bathhouses and then walking towards Anderson Cooper, that was bizarre stuff. He's like, "Come on, man." It's elder abuse. These Dems need to lay off of him. It's evil. I just bought a Ruger PC carbon chassis model. Yeah. All right, guys, we are officially at 2 hours for this live stream. I did not think it was going to be this long. I was expecting it to be like 45 minutes to an hour. But then we got to talking about everything. We covered everything. We talked about flat earth. And see, this is the thing. I could never really just title my streams one thing because it ends up being about like 50 things. Somebody's going to rewatch this and be like, I thought I was going to hear about RBG. And this dude's talking about flat earth and spiritual warfare. And you guys are still talking about this earth age. Come on. I I don't get it. Send me a documentary. I would love to watch it. I don't want to I'm not trying to like knock you or anything, but I'm just saying I don't understand this earth age thing and why it's important. So send me some information and I'll read up on it. If you think it's important, you think I can benefit from it, send me something and I'll talk about it. Why is this thing so blurry? I think it's because this hotel Wi-Fi kind of sucks. Good night, DM. You guys get some rest. I definitely need to get my rest. We're going to Minneapolis tomorrow. I probably will go check out some of the areas that were and yes, I'll be safe. Don't you worry. I still have a lot of friends and family in Minneapolis. In fact, where the George Floyd killing happened, that was like less than 2 miles from where I lived in Minneapolis. Like, that used to be a really nice area of town. Not necessarily where George Floyd was, but the area of town where I lived in. And I'm going to try to get some footage and all that stuff. But we do have a longer layover in Minneapolis, so I'll be there. And then I'm headed to Ohio, another state I've never been. I get to check that off the list. Mike, notice Biden handling his mask like it's the Bible? I don't really understand that. I don't understand what you're saying there. But a lot of people are signing off. A lot of people are saying good night. So I should probably do the same. I really do need to say good night because it is now almost 1 o'clock in the Midwest, Central Time. I'm in Eastern Time, but Minnesota's Central Time. So it's way past my bedtime. God bless you guys. Have a good night. Thanks for supporting me every step of the way through my YouTube channel and through Right Side Broadcasting. Make sure you're subscribed to both of those channels, and make sure you know when I'm going to be on the live streams for President Trump's rally. So I will not be at the one on Saturday. I repeat, there's one in Fayetteville, North Carolina on Saturday. I will not be at that one because I have to travel to Ohio for that one. And it's going to be Newtown. I forget the name of it, but it's just west of Toledo. So that's where I'll be. And that rally is Monday. So God bless you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting me through PayPal, Patreon, Super Chats, P.O. Box, all those good things. You guys have a good night. Stay vigilant. God bless you. God bless everybody. Spiritual warfare. Stay vigilant. Put on the whole armor of God. I'll catch you guys in the next live stream. Peace out. Good night.